this is how to slay a golden bronze glam. Now, if you want your makeup looking like this, the perfect warm golden glam, this is how to do it. I'm starting by using a concealer as my base. I'm not using something too bright because the colors I'm using on my eye, they're not going to be so bright. They're more warm and bronzy. Blend this out, set it with setting powder lightly. I'm going to start with a burnt orange shade. This is the Beauty Bay Desert Haze palette, just because I want to build up for that warmth. Focusing this mostly to the outer part and then taking what's left and blending this inward and then taking it outward. Basically, this is how I'm going to be blending all of my eyeshadow. Probably have to layer this like 3 times because I don't want to do too much. Going into the Masquerade Minis by Juvia's, I'm building it up with a warm brown shade. When you're doing looks like this, you want to make sure you're focusing on more warmth, like more warm colors than anything. I'm just going to focus it here, take what's left in, and then take the rest out. This is my Coffee Shop palette in this shade. And I'm using a smaller brush. So I'm going to focus this to the outer part of my eye just to give it depth. Then take it out into this deeper brown to the outer part of my eye and slightly bring it outward a bit so it gives my face a look. I'm really just doing a lot of layering of the same color but in different shades just to give your makeup more depth. So I'm just layering this about 3 times. Going back into the first brush I used, and I'm just going to use that to blend everything together so it's seamless. I'm going in with this bronze shade in my Juvia's palette. I prefer to use my hands when I'm applying shimmer shades. It just applies better. I think I want it lighter. I should have gone with my mind. So I'm going to use my Beauty Bay palette. This on top, so it's a bit lighter. I'm going with a lighter shade right at the inner corner. So I'm just going to bring this closer to the lighter shade so it's more of the bronze than the light shade. I'm just going to tap in lightly into this deep shade and I'm just going to use that to kind of bring out the outer corner just a tad bit to give it this outer part more depth. I'm going into this liner from Polar Beauty, like a black liner. I'm gonna use this to line the eye. This is what will tie the look together. I'm gonna get a small brush like this into the initial shade we used, that is the transition shade we used earlier, and I'm gonna use that to kind of blend this liner, fade out to the top so it gives this gradient from dark into brown and then into the eyeshadow, which just gives the eyeshadow more depth. Now I'm going to go into my liner to kind of bring back that black, but I'm placing this real close to my lash line so it does not mess with what we just did there. So there's a contrast between the black and the brown. Go back into my brush and kind of fade out the ends just so it rhymes with the inner. I'm using the same liner to line my under eye. I'm gonna clean up the end. You want to use a concealer that is real close to your skin tone so it's neater. Like when I do my eye before my face, I like to underpaint just so I see clearly what I'm doing. So I'm underpainting today. I'm using the Too Faced concealer in Honey. You want to use a concealer that's close to your skin tone first. And for skin, we're going to keep it warm and bronzy as well to match the eye. And I'm gonna apply it to the T-zone. Before you blend, just tap into some of that concealer you applied, get some to the sponge, and then blend. So we're going to blend starting from the midpoint while we let the under eye marinate. So I'm going into my MAC palette. I'm going to apply this first. So for this, you don't want to use anything contour. You want to use something warm tone. That's why I'm using a bronzer. So it just rhymes with the entire look. That is really what makes like your makeup looks come together. Now that this is dry, I'm going to go in and just blend it from the edge just so I'm in control of that concealer and I don't get the concealer all over the place. Going into my lighter concealer, I'm using the e.l.f. concealer in the shade Medium Sand. I'm just going to apply this only to the inner part of the eye. And because we want to stick to warmer tone, I'm using an orange blush from Danessa Myricks in Golden Hour. I'm applying it here and I'm taking what's left upward and I'm taking what's left into my temple and to my nose as well. Foundation, I'm using the Younger Beauty Smooth Match. I'm going to blend this mostly to the lower part of my face because this is where we don't have any product. I'm going to take what's left over this area just to diffuse it a bit, but I don't want to cover what I just did there. For my forehead, I'll just go over it lightly, just with what's left on the brush, just to blend everything together. I like to hold my sponge like this and then blend it into the brow so it looks natural. Blend up brighter concealer, placing most of the product here, then I'm taking what's left outward and I'm trying to bring it a bit close to my nose so it gives my nose a slim look. Using my Huda Beauty Easy Bake in Pound Cake, I'm just gonna use that to set. I wish I had my banana bread powder. It would have been perfect powder shade for this look. I'm going to this Cindy's Beauty Line powder. I want to use it to bake. Focusing in here. Perfect. By the way, this powder is actually real good. You should get it if you're looking for an affordable setting powder. I'm using my Fenty Beauty bronzer to kind of warm up my face. I'm basically setting the areas where I applied bronzer. This deep shade. I'm using that to kind of mark out my cheek. Kind of just use that to kind of cast a shadow on my face so it gives it more depth. I'm just using that to kind of blend it out slightly. To bring the entire look together, I'm using my MAC Studio Fix powder. I'm going to apply this mainly to the areas where I've not set at all, which is the lower part of my face. Apply a majority here, take what's left over this area just to diffuse it a bit. I'll take some into my forehead and then take what's left to the sides. A little to my nose as well. I just put on my favorite half lash from Violent Kitty, the Kitty Corners. That's the name of this particular one I like to wear. I'm going in with the Omari Code liner in Hickory. I'm going to line the outer parts of my lip with this NYX Line Loud in Rebel Kind. This is like a deeper shade. Line it around the outer corner. Isn't this just at the outer corner? Okay, just a little. I'm going to use this nude gloss on the inner part of the lip. Yeah, we're going to change this lip. I don't like it. I was going for something more nude, like really nude. I'm gonna mix my ABH Peachy Nude with Peach Amber. So I'm looking for kind of like a really warm nude. I don't know why I don't have it in my kit. With this brown from Blusser around the corners, kind of give that balance. I'm gonna go over this with my Lifter gloss in the shade 002 Ice inside. With a clear gloss around the outer corner, give a perfect balance of warmth I was looking for. Going back into my eyeshadow transition shade, warm up my under eye. I just add a little bit of my bronzer there. I'm going with a smaller brush into a deep brown shade. Putting this real close to my lash line. Darkest shade should be closer to the lash line. Lighter shade should be lower. That's what will give the perfect balance. Go back in with your black line and then just right on the waterline, bring back that black line. So it balances well, just like so. Bring the entire look together. I'm going in with my Beauty by AD blush in Sweet Apricot. I'm going to go in with two blushes. So I'm using this deep shade first. I'll apply it here, take what's left here, and then take it into my temple as well and my nose, just like we did the creams. When it comes to makeup, it appears better and more cohesive when you follow the same color scheme and color theme on the face. Everything just looks more put together. I'm going to layer the blush with a lighter shade of blush. This is the NYX Buttermilk in the shade Hard Butter. So I'm just going to apply this right above. Exactly. You can see the way that orange just brought out the entire thing. Tap on some of that under eye powder. Then I'll just tap it in and take what's left into the blush and just blend it together. So it's much more seamless. Just with the Milk Hydro Grip Spray. With my Team Essentials Cheek Glaze. I'm using that to highlight my face. Just to add a touch of shine to the eye, I'm gonna tap on a little bit of shine on the shadow, like loose pigments. So perfect. It's a loose pigment from Luster, if I'm correct, because I cannot remember that much. This is all for our golden bronze makeup. What do we think? If you want to look more on the warm natural side but extra, this is the go-to look for you.